Oh, okay. Hi. I forgot that every time I load this game up, it's just we're in it. Right, but it dumped us right outside the door for Dr. Hanwell. Let's just go inside. Okay. So. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. I was waiting for it. Make sure that we're on the right track. Oh man, the kids are asleep. It's late at night. By late, I mean 11:03 p.m. And we're ready to get to the end of this Asylum playthrough. All right, let's find out. Are we Dr. Hanwell? I don't think so, because I was thinking about it, actually, and wouldn't Dr. Miller have recognized us? Dr. Miller in the laboratory? He would have been like, hey, you're Hanwell. I don't know. I don't know who we are. I think we're Rebecca's son, but I can't tell. An elegant urn which hopefully didn't contain any cremated remains. And have you ever seen a cremation urn? They're not usually that tall. They're much smaller. The directors seem to have a captivating collection of art. Maybe you are the director. Striking paintings decorated the wall of this office. Switch didn't work. I wonder if that's like a Scratches reference, because all the lights and Scratches don't work. Look, there he is, Walter Hanwell. Honestly, I thought he was gonna be more of like an old gray looking dude, like Benjamin Franklin sort of looking guy. The elegant fireplace was a neat match for the style of the room. Okay. You know, I am amazed at how many times you can click on something really boring in this game and it will give you a unique description. It seemed the director was quite picky about the decor in his office. We even get 2 different variations for the fireplace, specifically in Hanwell's office. That's interesting to me. An impressive desk occupied a large section of the room. What's this? The human mind. Oh, look at this art. Do you get it? There's so many humans that make up this mind. Oh, wait, we don't get to look at it? There's not even any like back description, whatever you call it. I couldn't make out what these jars were filled with or why they were in this office in the first place. Look at the corny bust up there or whatever. A decoration made of marble crowned this shelf. A large collection of books, mostly focused on the topic of surgery and psychiatry. The director appeared to have an exceptional track record in his field. Wow, you know, at what point does it become like masturbatory to have this many plaques and diplomas and stuff on your wall? I feel like 9 is excessive. Maybe just like pick your favorite 2. 9 is so many. It's like, we get it. A tall ladder used for reaching the book in the upper shelves of this private library. The director seemed to keep his belongings neat and organized. Yeah, I don't know. This is a library? I mean, this is like a couple bookshelves put together. Let's calm down. It's not exactly Beauty and the Beast. A cozy coffee table decorated the corner of the office. Okay. Well, it's clear we're not gonna get anywhere unless we, get behind this desk. Sorry. How do I get back there? Okay, right here. All these drawers were shut tight. Nothing here for me. It may have been the painting of a renowned artist, but it felt like a sadistic act of torture. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Look, he's literally trying to torture him. Yeah. So that's, astute. Okay. Old pens of no use to me. Okay, I don't know don't want to hear it. You picked up a red crayon earlier, you know? Ambrose Miller. I must hastily write this letter to you, as an unexpected turn of events may have hampered the long-awaited resolution of our work. The book you recommended did indeed provide the means to understanding those primordial arrangements, Ambrose. We unlocked it! What an extraordinary document. So precise. What seems to be inside? I can't elaborate further. I couldn't even if I tried my best, but I'm penning extensive notes for posterity. We must act quickly. There is a plan in motion, so to speak. It's far from the scholarly treatment this immeasurably overdue encounter deserves, but circumstances are acting against us. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Did I mention it was 11 p.m.? I mean, I start yawning at like 9:30 these days. We need visual information that few human beings are able to provide. However, as you rightfully said yourself, Providence is on our side. What? You'll what? He didn't finish. A random old book covered in dust. Okay. Thank you. Can I open this? Great. They looked like ordinary annotations. You know what? I should have done this a long time ago, but why are the sound effects like deafening compared to the music? That's much better. Why? You got the sound effects on like volume 1000 and the music is on like volume 37. It seemed like a fine and expensive ink bottle. The director of the institute seemed to like handwriting. Wait, what? Oh, it's just ink. Oh, okay, I get it. The Hanwell Mental Institute was founded by Dr. Walter Hanwell, whose remarkable knowledge in the field of mental health care shaped the philosophy and forward-thinking nature of the establishment. As a young and promising general surgeon, he became fascinated with how mental illness worked. And firmly pursued his goal of understanding the intricacies of insanity. Okay. Dr. Hanwell actively encouraged colleagues and contemporaries in their studies of mental pathologies, earning him the reputation of benefactor of the insane. Who gave him that nickname? They should be put on a list. His strong legacy in the subjects of psychology and medicine permeates every room in the institute. Wow. Dr. Hanwell was also known for his open mind when it came to the application of experimental psychiatry, surgery, and more enigmatic forms of alternative medicine. One of Hanwell's greatest contributions to the field was the creation of the Strabi, an ingenious contraption for probing brain tumors, which is discussed later in this article. While this wondrous machine showed promise, it was developed too late for its time. He invented the Strabi just before the dawn of a new technological era in which the proliferation of the far less intrusive magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, used for the detection of brain tumors pushed it all too quickly into obsolescence. Yeah, that's a shame. They don't need to extract anything from an MRI. Walter Hanwell's approach to mental health care was not without its share of controversy. However, he was known for adopting a mindset strongly focused on achieving fast results, disregarding established ethical standards in the process. One example of this was his blithe attitude towards conducting experiments on live animals, a practice already rejected among his peers. An anecdote in the Annals of Hanwell Mental Institute history describes a shipment of foul-smelling rats transported to the premises for this gruesome purpose. In later years, I was trying to avoid it. In later years, Dr. Hanwell's interest shifted towards more holistic, perhaps even spiritual methods for uncovering the secrets of the mind. Yeah, we get it, he sucks. Hanwell sucks. Hawthorne sucks. A bunch of pencils scattered in the drawer. Hawthorne seems like what his high school bully would call him. Like what his Flash Thompson would call him. Nice try, Hawthorne. Okay, I guess we'll read this thing now. We prepared to delve deeper into the tunnel. Ellis had a few words with the security staff, playing the bad cop as usual, and warning them about patients often going missing, while I returned them to their cells. Afterwards, as things went quiet, we grabbed a lantern each and scouted out the regions beyond the crevice. The smell was nearly unbearable as we traversed the tunnels. I could recognize the handiwork of our motley crew in carving out the walls, but suddenly the shape, or rather texture, of the tunnel began to change. It was still man-made, dare I say, but yet different. Clearly the result of more crude tools. The rocks had developed a shiny, slippery surface, massaged by the history of who knows how many countless centuries? Millennia? As we stepped forward, we noticed curious patterns on the stone walls and also objects, such as pots, effigies, and other fragments scattered on the ground, which were covered by a layer of spongy moss. Somehow, a whole ecosystem had survived within these underground prehistoric walls. I pondered the deeper secrets that would be concealed within the bowels of this towering cliff. When I grabbed one of the items on the floor, my eyes were dazzled by a craftsmanship unlike anything I had seen in my life. Not even in specialized publications or museums. It felt strangely alien, with hints of human crafting. Yet, at the same time, it was not quite human. When I showed a weird sculpture to Ellis, he seemed more excited than I expected and urged me to move forward. This is very H.P. Lovecraft here. We resolved to move these fascinating objects to a location where we could properly research them. We both agreed that the third floor of the hospital, currently in disuse, would be a suitable spot. Okay. Needless to say, there was a mutual agreement to keep this find from the rest of the staff. The continued investigation of these newfound underground tunnels were far more important than the remodeling of the building. Ellis warned me about expenses and such, but I dismissed such mundane considerations. Words aren't enough to convey my excitement. My hands are shaking with adrenaline as I transcribe this account. What we found at the end of that tunnel, it is beyond our comprehension. An ultimate, glorious secret right here beneath us. Ellis, impetuous as he is, motioned for us to go in, but I caught a glimpse of his presence, which was enough to paralyze my body and mind for what seemed like an eternity. Yet a fleeting moment must have passed as I grabbed Ellis's arm and ordered him to stop. We cannot go in. Our rational minds wouldn't be able to stand it. The same patients from Group E as before are the key to making progress. It's nothing short of a miracle that our financial woes prompted us to resort to using our own patients to conduct the work, rather than a professional construction crew. The patients have no idea what we found, and even if they spoke out, who would believe them? Tunnels? Weird smells? Strange artifacts? An idea is forming in my head, and I'm sure Ellis will agree. Oh my god, you guys suck. Oh boy. It turns out their fears are more useful than we thought. They've helped us come closer to the entity. I've no other words to describe him now. No rational mind can withstand his sight. After all, what do we know about reality? It's all merely electric impulses traversing our neurons. But if an alien being operates beyond the limits of our comprehension, those impulses would fry our brains. Unless our minds aren't operating correctly to begin with. They are indeed able to visualize something we couldn't possibly process with our sane minds. The fear they experience when they enter that chamber is evidently unbearable, according to their own testimonies, even worse than long-standing fears from their past. Yet, something sticks in their damaged brains. We are unable to recover that information unless we somehow reproduce the same emotional conditions as those the patients had upon entering the chamber. So far, we've been able to recover one piece of knowledge from each one by stimulating them to experience their past fears using various methods. If we put everything together, then maybe. An unexpected turn of events. All patients presented to the entity have developed an anomaly. Something physical has changed in them. As far as we can tell, they're all developing brain tumors. Why this is happening, we can only guess, but the evidence is unquestionable. Is it that even their damaged minds can't withstand the glorious sight of the being underneath? Or is there a deeper meaning behind this alteration in their physiognomies? Yeah, so first of all, like, screw you, right? For thinking that somehow these people in this mental institute would be better equipped to perceive the unknowable than you, the sane man. Yeah, it looks like that's not the case, dipshit. We have no choice but to further investigate these tumors, yet we can't do it alone. The extracted tissues must be subject to standard procedures and thus thoroughly analyzed by our pathologists. For obvious reasons, the source and nature of the masses can't be disclosed. We can't just drop them on the tables either, as questions would be asked. It's a blessing as it is that the strawberry is working properly and leaves no scar. But we can't push our luck. Ebersbacher is growing suspicious. We toyed around with the idea of firing her, but that might draw attention that we can't afford right now. Ellis had the brilliant idea of stimulating tumor growth in the same rodents already assigned to oncology. It's another fortunate coincidence that they're genetically similar enough to humans. Soon they will be studied and we'll get the information we desperately need. Ellis will take note of the identification tag and watch the team closely. Oh my god, are you still talking? We established that for a tumor to manifest, one must remain in his presence for a certain period of time. Still, I asked Ellis to subject me to a brain biopsy after my fleeting glimpse of those unfathomable shapes during our first time in that tunnel, just to be sure. I'm safe. Wait, you took a chunk of your own brain. Okay. Something isn't right. The patients, they're acting differently. Who could have seen this coming, you idiot? It's difficult to pinpoint in what manner. They simply don't feel the same. Last night, Hodgson was found lost in the basement, and we didn't take him there. How could he have gotten into the basement? We didn't take him there. Also, L, that's Bertrand, is known to experience absent seizures, but today I observed him in the yard, and he spent many hours just staring at the ground below him. They act as if... No, they can't. That can't be. Why would they? Once again, he takes a brief respite from writing down his every waking thought to keep us in suspense. I'm not going to write that thought down. That's a private one. We must do something, and soon. Ebersbacher is bound to notice. I'll have Ellis recommend shock therapy in the case of Laroche. That's Bertrand. We risk an uproar, but there's no other option. Good lord. My worst fears have been confirmed. There is very possibly something wrong inside me. Oh, a brain tumor. Yet if that was the case, was there any solution at my disposal? The first step was to confirm the tumor was real. Wait. Okay, I'm a little confused as to how you got there. From that, you're just like, oh, I have a brain tumor. I guess because you think yourself in Group E. Huh. Interesting. Still, like I feel like this was kind of a leap, maybe, to get there. And it's like a bunch of them have brain tumors. I have a brain tumor, so it's just a little. Whatever. You know what? I'll suspend my disbelief. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to get a quick drink, a beverage, because I feel quite naked without one. So, but I'm not going to cut this out. You're just going to have to deal with it. You're just going to have to deal with me getting a drink. I'm sorry, but like, was that the longest note of all time of any game I've ever played? I don't know. Surely something from Amnesia Machine for Pigs. I had to replay that game, but I feel like the notes in that game were like 20 minutes long to read. Like, I would keep waiting for them to end, and then they just wouldn't. At least that's what I remember. Machine for Pigs. I bet Machine for Pigs has aged a lot better than I give it credit for. I bet it's one of those games. Well, I guess we gotta go give ourselves a brain biopsy. We're definitely Rebecca's son. Come on. But then, like, how are we experiencing this? It's just a vision, though, right? It's not something that we've seen. It's not from our perspective necessarily. Right? When it says record book, what does that mean? Achievements? Oh, it is. Oh, this is the record book. Okay, so remember in the first video, I was like, I-J-N. I'm sure you guys were like, what is he even looking for? This is what I was looking for. Okay, so I have 5 of the memories. Apparently I missed one. When did I miss that one? I'm missing one of the reading things. Oh, so these are like all the things that you can read in the game. Oh, I need to find the 3rd newspaper. And I need to find one of the reports. We found Bertrand, Crawford, Hodgson, Rebecca. We need to find Leonard. Right? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I got it. Give me out of there. All right, so we're gonna go do a biopsy. Perform biopsy. Why was I doing this? The question pounded in my brain, which I was desperately hoping to be healthy and free of the malignant growth mentioned in the crazed pages from the director's office in the library book. But I needed to know, I had to understand. Get tissue sample of tumor. Oh, retrieve item in basement. As much as I hated the idea, another trip to the nethermost regions of this decaying building was necessary to find the item stolen from the sadists. In order to determine whether my brain had been corrupted by an unusual tumor afflicting the number of patients, I needed a tissue sample to compare against mine. I think that's actually in the museum. Dr. Ellis Hawthorne was a strict authority figure at the Institute and acknowledged as Dr. Hamill's right arm. Dr. Hawthorne had frequent quarrels with Dr. Ebersbaker, the implications of which were still unclear to me. You know, the fact that we've read like 37 different notes and we're still a little unclear on that, I'm not sure what to make of that. Okay, so... let me get the glass slide out, right? Okay. The label read TPT 102. 48. Oh. $152, $91, $71. So wait, which one of these is like a tumor? What is that? There's no need to grab these feeble tweezers at present. What was I going to do with them? Okay. Wait, I don't understand what I'm doing. There's no need to grab these feeble tweezers. What are you talking about? There was no need to grab these feeble tweezers at present. I'm curious. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Am I not understanding these correctly? Huh. I don't know what I'm really supposed. Since it wasn't needed anywhere else, I left the tweezers. Huh. Maybe. Okay, maybe we can ask Dr. Miller about this. I don't think he's gonna give us anything useful, but you know, we could at least check it out. Is he even in here? Nope. He sure isn't. Huh. Dr. Miller was no longer working in the laboratory. Where'd he gone? That is weird, isn't it? So since he's not here, is there something I can take? Some strange lab equipment. Huh. Okay. Okay. So before I do the brain biopsy, I need to get a tissue sample of the tumor. Oh my gosh. Bertrand's symbol. The idea of having a strange tumor inside me with ineffable consequences gave me chills. Was it possible to remove it? As I continued with my desperate search, the curved patterns that Bertrand drew on the floor kept my mind racing. What was the meaning of his drawing? Was it somehow connected to my visions? Kimmy, my wife, is always sending me Instagram reels. She's like, check out this one, it's really funny. I watch them all, but the sheer volume that I get sometimes is a little overwhelming. Like, I have gotten 2 since I started recording this session. Okay, can I go underneath the, to get this, whatever, the artifact that was, like, down here? Oh, wait, what? Oh, it's this one right here. Someone, presumably a patient, had been thrown down there for reasons too disturbing to ponder. It all indicated that something important had been left down there, but opening this trapdoor was out of the question. Why is it out of the question? What do you mean out of the question? Okay, well that's really annoying. Did you know how annoying that is? Can you take a look? The gate was locked. Well, can I open it? The lock clicked with a somewhat pleasant sound as I turned the key, which echoed throughout the corridors and the gloomy area downstairs. A fetid smell made me lose my balance as I prowled into the sewers. For a moment, I thought about running away and leaving this godforsaken place behind. Okay, I didn't know this would be the sewers. I mean, it makes sense. Right? It makes sense. The sewers extended who knew for how long, but it was impossible to proceed anyway. Wait, what? Okay. Alright, gotta get a valve. I assumed that I could use a valve to turn this spigot. Alright, we need to get a valve somewhere. Okay. Oh my god, greenhouse, balcony, hydrotherapy, sewers. This tube seemed to indicate the water level left in what I assumed was a septic tank. Okay. Oh, I took the valve with me. Oh. It was impossible to move the handle. It wouldn't budge until the pressure inside was appropriate. I see. So there's 4 different places. The sewers, the greenhouse. Where's the green? I just realized that. Where are you talking about? The shed? The balcony. I know where the one in hydrotherapy is. So there's 4 different valves I need to use. Okay, so no, not the hydrochloric acid, please. Can you? Great. Okay. I mean, that sounds good, right? Let's take a look. Okay, so we need to go... Alright, okay. I know what I need to do. So there's a greenhouse, there's a balcony. Oh boy, okay. And then maybe if I go into that tank, that's where I can get the artifact. Okay, I guess I'll go back up. That's like the most immediate thing I can think of to do. Give myself the brain biopsy. I'm not really sure what I'm doing with that. Let's go up to hydrotherapy. The only thing is I don't know where the greenhouse is. Yeah, it's over there. Okay. It's gotta be the shed. That's the only, I mean, it's not a greenhouse. It's a shed, but maybe that's what it's saying it is, you know? Rehabilitation. Operating room. Hydrotherapy, yeah. I'm glad that, like, all I need to do is just walk up to it and be like, plop. Stop it. I don't want to use these. Like, sick. That's all I have to do? I'm like relieving some weird amount of pressure. Want to see if I can use the valve on it. Alright, there's one on the balcony, which I'm like, is that over here? Is that what you're talking about? Balcony. Alright. That's not what this is. Can I see, like, it would maybe call it on this? There's external hallway, deposit. I don't see solarium. I mean, could the balcony be on the 3rd floor? I think that's probably more likely, because I don't remember seeing anything out there on the 2nd floor. Let me check operating room A. So this is where we would perform the biopsy. We put the slide under that microscope too. So I think the idea is we gotta get the sample, we put it under the microscope, and then we're like, oh my god, a brain tumor, and then we immediately get on here. So yeah, maybe I should go back. I just don't know how to test the samples. You put them on the glass slide. Oh, you know what you did? Use the syringe. We've still got the syringe. We put the syringe into the tumor. Ugh, we take its little tumor juice and then we put it on the glass slide. And then we put that underneath the microscope. Fun fact, my mother and my father were both microbiologists. So they would probably be playing this. If they were playing this right now, they would have put 2 and 2 together immediately. Maybe. I don't want to sedate that. Wait, you still got sedative in there? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You know what? Here I go. I'm looking it up. Here we go. Asylum game walkthrough. Okay, so here's what you do. Which I mean, I should have figured this out on my own, but hey, I got baby brain right now. I'm baby. So you're supposed to go to the rats because the rats have brain tumors, and you're supposed to extract brain tumor tissue from the rats. The thing is, how do you get to the rat? Remember this? So, you use the syringe. No? You use, okay. Yeah, use the valve on it. I think you use, hydrochloric acid? What? Oh, so the rat falls in the desk below. Oh my god, it's like the liquefied remains of the rat. TPT 102. That seemed to be a metal tag next to the rat with some kind of label on it. Right, because it's already been extracted. I tried to use the tweezers on 102 though, and the guy was like, no, why would I do that? That's stupid. Why would I ever do something so dumb? Why you use the tweezers? I'm not gonna use the tweezers. It's this one, right? Yeah. I picked up the tweezers with care. Okay. I carefully took a tissue sample and placed it on the glass slide. What gives? I guess they want you to go look at the rat and look at the tag and be like, oh, and then go here. So you can't just brute force it. I took back the slide with the tumor sample. Oh my god. Since it wasn't needed anywhere else, I left the tweezers. Yes, I know, the tweezers are forbidden from leaving the sacred museum. They must be kept there at all times. Yeah, she's going into labor. With us. Oh. Oh no. Alice Marion, the nurse, is going to stop her. Okay, yeah, but we're gonna go. If we're gonna do the brain biopsy. You ready? You ready to use the magic Walter Hanwell machine? I inserted the glass slide in the microscope. Let's take a look. What do you think? Is it a brain tumor? I don't know. Okay. I hope you know what you're looking at, because I don't. Yeah. That didn't deserve my attention. Oh, I think we both disagree on that. I don't know. I like how he acts like I'm an idiot for doing that. Something was missing, so I took the glass slide again. What? Drain the septic tank. I was too disturbed by now to think straight, but I knew that something of cardinal significance was down the sewers. Well, yeah. The glass slide had a sample of tissue presumable infected with the tumor. Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, it's on. I guess we're just going in. It'll only take 10 seconds. Sure don't need anesthesia for this? Not even local? Oh, is it going in through the eye? Okay. All right, Dead Space 2. So what now? How do I collect the sample? Maybe I go... This is like right here. After the biopsy, the compartment on the back of the machine was filled with plasma. My own. Now do we use the syringe?
The syringe was filled with sedative. I needed to clean it first.
Well, why haven't you done that? Here, do it here.
Oh my gosh. Carefully, I have cleaned the syringe as best as I could. Okay. Now can we do this, please? No, stop it.
The syringe was now holding a somewhat sticky fluid with a red tinge. I was repulsed to realize this had come from inside my head.
Okay. Now, here we go. Now we're gonna compare it. With much care, I placed a drop of the sample on the slide. Let's take a look and see what we can see. Oh my god, it's the same thing. I guess. I feel like this part of the game is kind of... I don't know. It feels like the game is kind of like bumping up against like the restraints that it has for itself, if that makes sense. Okay, so I guess we have it. I couldn't believe it. I had confirmed what I feared the most. Nested deep inside my brain was an unexplainable tumor, the source of my visions and possibly the end of my sanity.
Okay. Well, now what? Where does that leave us?
Okay, drain the septic tank.
I honestly, I don't know. I found the hydrotherapy and the sewers one.
Boo, jump scare. Sorry. I just wanted to appear on camera, visually, and auditorially. I was thinking about just putting some text on the screen, but then I was thinking, well, if you got another tab or you're listening to it in the background, you won't see it. But the next scene contains some disturbing imagery regarding childbirth. So, want to get that out there. It's also very edgy and doesn't really mean anything to the overall story, so you can skip it. Just skip forward like a minute. All right, bye.
Okay, maybe we're not Rebecca's son.
Oh my god. Oh, little baby. Oh.
Disturbing. Wait, we've seen so many of those. Oh wait, interviews, that's not... Is it... So we've seen all the visions except one. There's only one we haven't seen. Where's that first vision? This makes it seem like we're really close to the end. Oh, well, there's a lot missing on this one. And then there's the third newspaper, and then one of these. There's actually not that many left, though. I'll be honest, I have no idea what to do next. Maybe we go up to the third floor? Can we go up to the third floor yet? Yes! You're not supposed to be up here. Oh my god. Well, yeah, it's a little unfinished up here, isn't it? Boarded and claustrophobic. No wonder there were so many leaves here with such a strong wind punishing this section of the building. Boarded and claustrophobic. It's just gonna keep saying that, huh? Okay, well, I guess we'll try to go in here. Okay, there's a theater, and there's Lenny up here. The theater must have been charming in its old days. Now it was pitiful and dirty. Well, I just saw Leonard Seal clap over there, so apparently he's happy with what's happening here. Oh, oh my god, it's a chandelier. I thought it was skeletons. The once classy chandelier was now a sorry feature of the theater. Okay, okay. Damn, why is every room like half Silent Hill? Hi, Leonard. Lenny. Can I call you Lenny?
Lenny, what are you doing here?
I'm watching the show.
Show? What? Oh.
Why don't you sit with me and we can watch it together? It's very entertaining.
Lenny, please, you must listen to me. I have the tumor. I think you have it too, and Bertrand. We all do. Everyone in Group E.
I don't want to talk about that now.
But Lenny...
Maybe it's good if we don't remember. If I was in pain, I wouldn't want to remember. I'd prefer to be happy, like I am now.
My visions are getting worse. You will have them too.
Why are you doing this?
Because I need to know, Leonard. I can't afford to lose my mind again. I want to remain in control.
Oh. Oh, this next part is fun.
Okay, well, let's just see what we can get out of him, huh?
What can you tell me about this third floor?
The doctors used to come here often.
For what purpose?
I don't know, but I think there's a secret here.
Time to see what they were hiding then. Do you remember anything about the sewers down in the basement?
Me? No, I've never been there. And I don't want to.
I believe there's something important down there. Is there anything you can tell me about the sewage system in the building? There is a sort of septic chamber or tank that can't be opened.
It's complicated. I remember seeing spots where you can put some kind of tool and turn it. Sometimes I can hear a hissing sound near
Yeah, it's the valve. I got the valve.
spots.
I know what to do.
Pressure, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Lenny, I saw a film. Horrible film.
Saw?
They locked someone in the basement.
I saw a film?
I don't want to hear about that, please.
Just listen. In the film, there was an item that fell through a grate, and it seemed to be something of huge importance to the doctors. You know, the doctors that did this to us, Lenny. It happened in the boiler room.
Yes, the fire. I remember. It was so hot.
What's below the boiler room?
The sewers.
Right, yeah, obviously. You saw a film? Oh, boy. These British voice actors. They think no one can tell. Well, I mean, I think I theorized earlier that the voice actor for the main character is Australian. He said something that was kind of sounded vaguely like that, but I think UK now, and you can't change my mind. I don't know who it is, by the way. I have no idea. Patient's fears. Bertrand's symbol.
Lenny, do you remember seeing a red symbol? Like a circle with...
No! Stay away!
What?
Don't go there! That symbol means bad things. The pain.
All right, Lenny. No more talk about the symbol.
What can I talk about?
Nothing else comes to mind?
I don't want to think about that anymore.
Oh, have we already talked to you about Dr. Hawthorne? Or Hawthorne? If I tell you about the valve, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, you should use it.
Those maniacs tortured us in the worst imaginable way, Lenny, leveraging our deepest fears for their own gain.
True.
Yes. It was different for each one of us. We were scared when the burly man appeared with new burn marks. We rejected him, but then...
Yep.
Then it started happening to the rest of us.
Lenny, what did they do to you?
Since I was young, my body has been weak. I move slowly because I'm afraid to break something.
Oh no. Did they?
Yes. They broke me. That's the pain.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with this place?
What is your worst fear?
Dude, we listened
My
to
worst fear? My fear.
What is it?
I'm terrified of losing control, Lenny. I must know that I'm in control of my own actions. I don't want to lose my mind. Lenny, please help me.
I can't. It's too late for me.
Okay.
Lenny, what did they do to you? I listened to a recording. It was horrible.
Oh, now you remember.
Yes. Now you know.
But why?
I guess sometimes people are just mean.
That may be true, but there's got to be more to this. They wanted information from you. What was it?
I can't.
Well,
Please, I'm too weak.
but we heard on the recording what
You
they
must
wanted,
keep
right?
looking on your own. There's something down below that they want.
Yeah, it's the
Only
chamber.
we can see it.
Right.
Who's we, Lenny?
People in Group E.
with mind problems.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I guess we're done.
Nice talking to you, Lenny.
Patients used to be encouraged to participate in improvised plays. Art is good for the mind, the nurses said. The ceiling had collapsed, rendering a good chunk of the theater useless. Just like everything else around here, right? Totally useless. Okay, I think, yeah, we're all done in here. Let's go ahead and leave. Okay. Now I'm looking for, there should be like a balcony that I can use the valve on. Right? Okay. Many cans of paint that had been emptied a long time ago. Zachary Blakely. There was no more paint inside. Okay. Seems like... Huh. Alan... Oh, okay, yeah. I think this is like real art that people have done. I couldn't tell why, but the painting gave me a creepy feeling. The boarded up windows gave the room a claustrophobic feel. Yeah, you've said that a couple times now. I think I've pieced together how you feel about it. I could not make out what it was exactly. An eye? It was anyone's guess why those windows have been boarded up in the first place. Just want to see... I guess we're good here. It was a weird creation from the mind of a mentally ill patient. This must have been part of the Kickstarter. You can draw something that goes in the art room. Must be, right? I can't think of any other reason for this. I think it's the most likely explanation. The workshop was a calm place driven by the queer creativity of patients. Hanwell Institute was well equipped to address all the needs of the mind? Is that what they said? How's the light coming in here? I could see the movement of bugs crawling inside the furniture. Really? An old clay bowl. Oh, okay. This drawer was stuck. Some kind of clay dough, likely used for twisted artistic creations. Why do they have to be twisted? Not everything needs to be twisted here. Gwen Benjamin. I didn't quite understand what this was supposed to be, but I guessed art can sometimes be like that. Kickstarter again? Ava Forsum, probably Kickstarter. There were probably like 3. The patient who did the sculpture wasn't well. The damp stains on this wall vaguely looked like the shape of a human. They're not well. It was jammed. Nothing of interest. Is the 3rd floor just Kickstarter rewards, or?
Attention Julia and all personnel. The high-risk patient has escaped again. He is very violent, more than usual. I believe he's rushing toward the 3rd floor. Proceed with extreme caution.
Whoa. Rushing towards... Hey, that's where I am. The colorful window of a quaint chapel. There was an old classroom on the other side. Hang on. I feel like I need to do this. Let's save. Yeah. I don't think that they would make it to where you can, like, die suddenly, but who knows. Suddenly I heard a noise. Something close to me. Oh my god! What happens if you go towards him? This was a bad idea. He seemed like he was about to jump at me at any moment. Okay. Can he get us? A soothing song wouldn't calm down the maniac this time, and besides, the piano was broken. None of that was going to help me get away from the madman. Sorry, I know this is like not immersive. Madness in the hospital. A patient hurts herself savagely. Okay. I'll just kind of skim this. Let's see. Disgruntled employees, concerned family members, atmosphere of neglect and allegations of misconduct. It's all stuff we've read before. A pregnant patient with severe mental disorders descended into a manic state and performed a sanguinary abortion on herself. Nurses who witnessed the self-mutilation described the scene as a savage bloodbath, also stating that the patient was alone in her locked room without access to any foreign objects. A nurse discovered the vile act thanks to a pool of blood spreading under the door. That's crazy. Man. The famed Hanwell Mental Institute is spiraling out of control. Okay. So the patient's after us, huh? No, it seemed to be a dead end! Okay, thankfully we have all the time in the world to leave. Oh my god, there he is! The high-risk patient. Too bad we're out of sedatives. Wow, he's still after us. While I desperately need to stop the madman somehow, I wasn't able to move these benches on my own. The pulpit was exquisitely engraved and polished compared to the rest of the room. Yeah, now's not the time. I know I just like read a newspaper, but still. No prayer would have helped me escape from the madman outside. Okay. I was hoping the madman wouldn't try to break in. Yeah, it's kinda... In a rash thought, I imagined myself hurling a hefty statue towards the raving madman. But alas, there was no statue in the pedestal. There might have been a statue positioned here. I guess we'll just keep going. I don't really know where else to go. Oh wait, this is... Oh, okay. Okay, so I kind of looped around. Thought about running away, but the corridor was long and the madman was too fast. I risked getting caught. The door was open, but it seemed like a dangerous dead end inside. Huh. I was crazier than the lunatic for even thinking of going in there. I'm curious what I'm supposed to be doing here. Oh wait, this is open now. I wasn't sure it was behind this passage. It could have been a dead end. That's a dead end. Okay. Well, we gotta read about the fall of the Hanwell Mental Institute. As if signaled by heightening tensions, an unprecedented incident catapulted Hanwell Mental Institute into chaos and confusion. An unsupervised patient mutilated herself in the most vicious way imaginable. I'm now reading it again. The exact details of the episode continue to be unclear to this day, but the remaining staff at Hanwell spoke of a grotesque scene beyond the limits of human comprehension, which prompted something akin to a rebellion within the encaging walls of the hospital. Word spread fast, and authorities who had already set their sights on the establishment were quick to act. Had it been an isolated affair, the conclusion to this chronicle might have been different. But the combination of disenchanted employees, wild rumors, and growing public scrutiny spelled doom for Hanwell Mental Institute. In a heartbeat, authorities swarmed inside the building with a warrant order, apparently having prepared in advance for just such an occasion. What followed next is a tale of mayhem. Documents were seized, staff members taken into custody, and much of the facility equipment shut down. In the blink of an eye, Hanwell Mental Institute simply stopped functioning. The building was evacuated almost immediately, and all of its patients were redistributed across a number of smaller but more modern facilities. Of the executive staff, Dr. Ann Ebersbacher turned out to be the most cooperative, speaking during interviews about the oppressive nature of her working environment. Dr. Hawthorne was found in the basement of the building, seemingly attempting to evade the authorities. This fact deeply damaged his legal case, as it followed grave accusations against him from the staff that were further supported in the statements by Dr. Ebersbacher. Dr. Hawthorne sought refuge behind a team of lawyers and continues to be embroiled in trials to this day. This is like a where are they now? Dr. Walter Hanwell could not be found inside the building at the time of the raid. However, he willingly presented himself for questioning at a local police station some days after the grim streak of events. It transpired that Dr. Hanwell corroborated all of Dr. Ebersbacher's claim, thus sealing the fate of his loyal right-hand man and apparent friend, Dr. Hawthorne. Wow, he threw him under the bus. Those who interacted with the once world-famous surgeon during these climactic moments were perplexed by his neglected appearance, so unlike that of the figure who once commanded so much authority and respect. No case could be built against Dr. Hanwell himself, who disappeared from public life shortly afterward, never again working in the field of medicine. More recently, a few years after the interlude of depravity that became the downfall of Hanwell Mental Institute, the possibility of rehabilitating the symbolic building has resurfaced. Once again, Dr. Ambrose Miller, who is closely acquainted with its history, has expressed interest in helming efforts to return the establishment to its glory days. Great. I got an achievement. Historian. Completely researched the history of the Hanwell Mental Institute. Oh, what's this? I didn't think I could defend myself with that. Senseless to think I could escape through this window. I just don't really know what I'm supposed to do here. Seemed like the madman had attempted to move the cross to no avail. However, it was still loose. move the cross. Talking about this? Astonishingly, he had been able to move this massive pulpit. Without question, the madman had incredible strength. He's not that strong. Look at him. He's struggling with the door right now. Looking at those torn apart benches, I realized that could have been me. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do here. And I feel like I'm kind of ruining the pacing the longer I choose to be here, so let me just take a look. Okay, so apparently you're supposed to get right next to the door and then click on the cross. I managed to block this door, but the madman could still leave the empty room using the other door. Uh-oh. Oh, so we're trapping him. Okay. So then I gotta get it on this side. Because he's in there, right? Oh! It's 4 a.m. Oh my god. Without the madman chasing me, I readied myself to explore the rest of the topmost floor. Okay, perfect. You know, it's a good thing I read that thing in there, because I'm not able to go in there now. Dude, the third floor is kind of a maze, isn't it? Uninteresting shelves. It seemed this section had once been used as a sort of storage area. An unremarkable box that had nothing inside. The buckets were dirty and empty. Oh boy. See over here, where's the balcony? Let me take a look. The greenhouse is actually coming up. Ah, that's where we can turn the valve. Okay. Got it. The theater is back there. So that was the workshop, art room, lecture room, chapel. Okay. Right. I was able to see the whole length of the once beautiful yard from this window. Very cool. Well, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I am about to keel over and fall asleep. It is just about that time for me. It is too late. I'm too old to do this at this time of night. So I will have to be right back and we'll wrap up in just a moment.
Okay, I am back. What was I doing? I don't remember. We're on the 3rd floor. Okay. We've contained the madman. And now, we can go up even higher? Sure. Is it like a tower or something? Okay, we're on floor 4. Wow, there's just a lot of random... Oh, this is the greenhouse. There were no traces of plants, just dried mud. Okay. Oh, look at this. Is this a peculiar flower? Is this a flower from scratches? They love making scratches. References. For a fleeting moment, I remembered seeing a flower like this in another greenhouse. You know, if you make enough scratches references, I'm gonna start thinking that this is somehow related. Oh my gosh. Imposing mountains encircled the forest surrounding the Institute. Okay, well, we're on the balcony, right? So that means that we can, yep. I bet that in the old days, this gorgeous greenhouse was a sight to behold. Oh wait, is this not the balcony? It had been long since anyone took care of these plants. Yes. How many times can we talk about that? I could hear the ocean from afar, whistling along with the wind. Okay, I'm not sure. Oh. Nothing. It was empty. So that's premium lubricant. Multi-purpose gear lubricant. Is this what... Do we need this for something? There's no oil left in this can. Okay.
Well, I guess maybe we'll return to this later. I'm not sure. Wood planks. They were everywhere on this floor. Okay. What about this? What did I get? I got some oil. Do we need to oil something? I don't know. I don't really know what we need to do, to be honest. I wondered about the fates of the birds which lived in here. Hopefully, they had flown away. Well, if not, we'll find little birdie skeletons. There were no traces of plants, just dried mud. Yeah, you keep saying that. Here we go, here it is. Okay, let's put this right here. The valve wouldn't turn. The spigot seemed to be rusted in place. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and oil it. Hopefully, this would do the trick. With the help of the oil, the valve turned smoothly. Man, some people were clowning on me in my Scratches playthrough because I tried to use lubricating oil like that in the lamp. Didn't say that it was lubricating oil. It just said it was a little, you know, can of oil. And I was like, great. I need lamp oil. Let's just put it in there. And obviously it didn't work. And people were like, he thinks you could put lubricating oil in a lamp. And I'm like, no, I don't. I just didn't know that that was lubricating oil because it didn't say that anywhere. It just said, like, it's a can of oil. The door didn't even have a knob and seemed completely stuck. John thinks you can open doors that don't have knobs on them. Yeah, sure. Let's just make just the most bad faith assumptions possible. Someone here really liked birds. I was against having birds, or any pet for that matter, entrapped for one's pure pleasure. Why do you have to say it like a Redditor? Why do you have to say it like that? Oh boy, alright. Could see the opposite side of the building from here. Okay. The door was shut tight. Okay, maybe we come back here later, or... Because it is like the top floor. I'm not sure if there's anything else up here, though. I'm curious about... I want to collect all the notes and stuff now. I'm, like, curious about that. Oh, great. There was no way I could move all this junk on my own. It was necessary to find another way. Well, I don't even know if we want to go over there. But I bet you could move this. It's really not that much stuff. It's like some oxygen tanks, and a wheelchair. I think I'd want gloves, you know. But apparently you're not worried about tetanus, so we've already been down that road. Okay, so there was the greenhouse. The female ward is blocked off, of course. Well, we might want to go back through. I don't know. Did you hear him in there? No, what's in here, though? Oh my gosh. A scent of rare incense, or perhaps something old and arcane, almost made me stop in my tracks. Every corner of this hidden room seemed to hint at ancient secrets. What foreboding revelations were awaiting inside? Oh my. A bunch of old candles. Who could tell what they had been used for? Didn't have any use for candles at the moment. Are you sure you don't want to make a Scratches reference? Jerry said I should get some candles. It was an odd-looking structure, perhaps an altar of sorts. But from where? Huh. Oh, there's that symbol that Bertrand tried to make, right? That's what he tried to do. The symbol, it was Bertrand's drawing. Right. Okay. What the hell was this? I wondered what bizarre things had taken place inside this room. Okay, well, let's read the Necronomicon or whatever. Mortuus Cave. A hideous sense of portentous menace could be felt in the title of the book alone. Really? No, I wasn't mentally prepared to delve into this sinister tome. Okay, I mean, I think you're reading into this too much. The staff, or scepter, was weird, like everything else in the room. Okay. There's a paintbrush there. Yeah, You're not gonna lie, the little Blair Witch totems are kind of weird. Wonder what bizarre things taking place. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. The tools were rusted and useless. Bones. I imagined or hoped the bones were from animals. They seemed like the kind of relics one would find in an archaeological excavation. A dirty and sticky old newspaper. Why is it sticky? What was the meaning of all these bones? You know, I truly do wonder why they have it to where you can open up all these drawers. You open so many drawers in this game and you're not really rewarded for most of it. A most particular design. Old with a hint of malice. It's just an old chair, but okay. I mean, I guess in the, you know, occult room, everything seems to have, you know, an evil or sinister aura. Occult arts. This seemed to be an obsession. This way was blocked. So who had an occult obsession? The people who spent time in this office had some macabre taste. Could this be where Hawthorne was? Books on esoteric topics that I didn't want to peruse. A small statue shaped like a head. Seemed like a ritualistic thing. A pile of jars with small stuff inside? Some things were better left alone. Small stuff inside the jars. Wow. What a great description. I don't know. Sure you don't want to say anything? Maybe they had been used for some kind of ritual. I finally found the candles, Jerry. I was like, there's no way they're not gonna say something. There's no way. Oh my god. Okay, so I can't look through. I don't think I've missed anything yet, have I? Oh, right here.
I feel nearly drunk at the prospect of harnessing all that power. We can't stop until his mysteries have been fully unraveled. I'm ready to exhaust all my resources, sacrifice anything and anyone until our goals are met. This is greater than mankind itself, even greater than me. This is the right symbol. I know it. The next step is to translate the logograms, which won't be an easy task, considering the poor state of the stone slabs. So many millennia, epochs of abandonment. But how? This finding predates any recorded history of scientific research. There's no written account of the servants anywhere else. I'm not even sure that's the proper translation. We are completely on our own. It's imperative that we focus on the task at hand and make no compromises if we're to succeed. We may well be the first civilized and sane human beings to ever gaze into the innards of this mountain. If what I suspect is true, what awaits inside grants the means to ultimate enlightenment, the permanence of actuality at our disposal. Servants is far from an accurate word, but there's no better way to describe them with the meager information we found. Contrary to other ancient tribes, chief among them, the so-called Dalmar. Another Scratch's reference to the same universe, I guess. Who at least had a sense of purpose in keeping a vicious god at bay. The servants sought to commune with a benign, malignant entity. I wouldn't call this a goal per se, but rather a way to exist. The servants sensed, as much as their primitive nature permitted, the formidable but alluring power of the entity. To achieve this communion, these earliest beings would make use of psychoactive substances, or entheogens, as they're referred to in recent times, to reach the state of genestai, the true meaning of existence. Consider the implications of this fact. Sentient beings that existed long before any hint of our recorded history, or even of any form of religion, had already embarked on the greatest quest of all, Entheos, the divine within, and it could be right here beneath us. Examples of entheogens include ayahuasca, peyote, and psilocybin. It seems, as far as I can surmise, that the servants require some sort of mind shield to face the abstruse presence of the entity. This corroborates my other findings, yet I can't synthesize the prehistoric entheogens exploited by the servants. We lack that information. However, if shielding your mind is the key, then perhaps what? We just won't finish that sentence.
The best words I've found to describe the entity is phalote. Phalote? Granted, there's likely a better term for it, but I am unable to make sense of every glyph. The servants thought so little of themselves in the close presence of phalote that they failed to name their race in any way. It's the supreme surrender of will, the epitome of self-hatred and shameful submission under the influence of a foreign power. Imagine for a moment the fate reserved for a culture of people that would surrender themselves at the behest of a preternatural being whose concerns were far detached from their own. But luckily, nothing of the sort ever happened. Whatever substances the primitive servants used, they didn't succeed in merging with this otherworldly visitor. The entire course of our history could have been so different had an inferior mind communed. And so phalote still waits, forbearing as ever. Phalote is wise. Sure. An entity enlightened far beyond our human condition, and also infinitely patient. He remains rooted within the bowels of our earth until the right vessel comes, and he is willing to wait another insurmountable passage of time until that happens, and he finally breaks free to traverse the geometry of our world. Time has no meaning to him. How do you know all this stuff? How did you gather this information? Of course, a lower prehistoric species couldn't have tamed this illimitable power, but I have other means. Oh gosh. Please. Who is in control? That's the key. We naively think that we are in command of our lives, but the fabric of modern society shapes our fate by means of overwhelming information. Our minds begin to malfunction, and thus we surrender to the unbearable noise, sucking away our vitality, a dissonance perceived even on the mere page of a newspaper. Phalote also makes use of noise, but it's a different kind of disturbance. He delves deep into your mind. Something, an interference, perhaps even a physical change, manifests when you face the horror. And yet, there's a distinct possibility that we can tame this power. No, you can't. You can't. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it for you. Idiot, moron, imbecile. You can't. You go through all this time to be like, we can't even fathom. This entity is a supreme being beyond our wildest imagination. We can't even perceive him. And then you're like, we could tame his power for ourselves. Oh boy. A nascent theory provides hope. The configuration of our brains is still crude. Much as I'd like to believe my genes are more sophisticated than the boorish servants, not enough time has transpired to provide our brain cells the ability to grasp the essence of reality. We're still only able to process 3 dimensions. However, phalote operates in another geometry of existence. Its visual information is too much for our minds to absorb. Yes. Right. Yet the only way to commune with this entity is to endure his presence. How are you not... Where are you getting this from? You're just like, oh, it's too much for our minds to absorb, but we can tame this power. How are you able to, like... compensate the two? Justify? Whatever. It must be so old, impossible to comprehend with our earthly conception of life. Yes, we get it. Phalote must have originated from the time in which the very first stars formed. Perhaps he already existed before it all began. Ambrose was right. The way to success resides in the primordial arrangements. What? In fact, the distant influence of celestial bodies may have an astounding implication during the encounter. This is too much to grasp, even for a learned man like me. There's a favorable configuration and greater chance to prevail if the communion takes place at a specific hour, as we perceive time, in our polyhedric coordinates. Okay. Whatever. We all know you got by this. The first patterns were deemed too ineffable for the limited sensibilities of monotheistic religions, but our illiterate ancestors couldn't grasp how the primal instinct of a lowly species like the servants operated, seeking meaning in the simple organisms of their era: arachnids, coleopterans, millipedes, grubs. And yet the shapes of these suggested constellations don't directly correlate with the arthropods that inhabited our planet. They are grotesque caricatures of otherwise familiar outlines, as if some vital feature of their true physical forms couldn't be conveyed on the flat surface of these slabs. It looks like it says slobs. Regrettably, we don't have enough time to construct an astrolabe, and so we'll have to operate with the spare details we have available. I'm in shock. The symbol itself acts like a piece of the chart. When the position is correct, it provides the zenith of the equation. It's inconceivable that the servants themselves figured this out, so the symbol must be the vestige of some elemental language designed with a baffling purpose that our spatially impaired capabilities can't hope to decipher. The only way is to realize the encounter. This vermicular shape. I've seen it before. It was great to read all that, and by great, I mean awful. Okay. There's 3 little dots there, a little question mark, an arrow. Is that the artifact that's down the sewers that we need to get? Okay. We have nothing to say about that, I guess. Right. That was just off to the side, right? Okay, I'm finally gonna go back. Maybe we can talk to Lenny. I can't even remember, like... Oh, these are art rooms off to the side. I forgot. We're done with that, though. Let's go... I really want to just talk with some people. Is Lenny still here? He's actually not. That sucks. Theater must have been charming in his days. Old days, now it was pitiful and dirty. The once classy chandelier was now a sorry feature of... I forgot he said that. Oh! Oh! There we go. Leonard Huntings, or Lenny, as he is widely referred to by his peers and many staff members of the Institute, is one of the friendliest and most helpful patients currently admitted. He is very slim and has an unhealthy-looking countenance. In fact, there have been times in which other patients thought they were seeing a ghost, as Huntings was found wandering around the hospital. His striking white-skinned torso, naked, ribs protruding out of his chest. Hunting's manners are polite and gentle. He speaks softly and often stammers, his hopelessly melancholic visage demanding sympathy. He rarely gets in trouble, and in fact his agreeable behavior has earned him such a privileged status among his peers that staff are allowing him to perform daily maintenance tasks, turning Huntings into one of the most valued patients in our facility. Regrettably, he suffers from a crippling case of myelodysplastic syndrome that has devolved into leukemia, severely weakening his bone structure. Oh man, that sucks. I got an achievement. Curiosity killed the inmate. Found all the patient reports. Cool. I think we're really close to getting all of them, actually. Let me check. Let me check the achievements. We're missing a memory, which I mean, if we've got like everything else, it makes me want to look it up. There's a couple of things here. I think one of them I've missed, but I don't know where that would be. See, it's correspondence with Miller 2. Makes me think there's a correspondence with Miller 1. We've got all the newspapers. We've got everything else. So we're only missing we're missing 2 things there and 1 memory. I mean, we might be able to look that up at some point. Okay, well, can I go talk to Julia, actually? Very nice. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna try something, because I still haven't found the balcony. I wonder if it is over there. I kind of think it might be. Let me go look. Where the hell is Bruno, by the way? We haven't seen Bruno since, like, what is it, like 9 p.m.? What happened to him? Did he go home for the night? Yeah, we want to go downstairs anyway.
Great. Okay. Balcony. Okay. So, like, is this the balcony? Oh. Long rusted pipes decorated this aged wall in a haunting manner. Here it is. We did it. There was no need to use this anymore. Oh. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. I think actually if I go all the way through, I can go talk to Julia. Wait, is it this way? Oh wait, this is... Yeah, it's locked. Does this open? No. Is it right here? I think it is. Yeah. I'm gonna ask Julia if she's seen Bruno, because it's weird that I haven't talked to him. Oh my god, she's not here. Huh, okay. Well, that's annoying. See, if I missed a memory at the very beginning, it was maybe in this room. Just thought I'd look around a little bit. I remember looking at that and that. Is there something I didn't look at? Well, I can go outside, apparently. The outside forest felt more menacing in the dark of the night. I wasn't planning on spending too much time outside. Right. I don't know. Okay. Felt as if the Institute was almost daring me to go back inside. Right. Okay. Yeah, let's go back in, I guess. To maybe look up. That's something I haven't really done as much. Huh. Makes me wonder if it's off of if it like is off of one of these first rooms. This stupid thing. Kicked in the head by a horse. Imaginary female trouble. These are reasons for admission. Right. Okay. Interesting. There's the art room up on the 3rd floor, right there. I recognize it now. Yeah, see, like I remember looking at all these things. Useless as they were, the chairs couldn't even pass for proper decoration in such a broken state. Yeah, you know what? Chairs are not useless. If you can sit in them, they're not useless. Okay. Gonna go down this way. No. Alright, the glasses. Whose glasses were these? I remember finding these and being like, yeah, whatever, you know. Oh, there's Bertrand.
All right. This is not in my head. People are mean here. I need to leave.
Okay, well, we were supposed to get that memory so long ago. The bizarre hallucination faded as abruptly as it came. It seemed random, an involuntary figment of my memory. Unless there was a reason behind it? Did I know this person? So you're supposed to think that before you meet Bertrand, but now that we met Bertrand, you know, it's different.
You know, with that said, I did get an achievement called Mastermind. I think it's like you get all the memories or whatever. Just saving for fun. It's fun to save. Where should I go now? Oh, right, the sewer. And the way to go to the sewer is, I think, this is probably the quickest way. Otherwise, I have to go through the tunnel of the dam, which I don't really want to do. Okay. Takes forever to get around here. All right, here we go. Right. Right, okay. So now that we've done it, the tubes seem to indicate the water level left. Yeah, it's empty. So now we can open it. And we can get the artifacts. Oh my god. What a horrible fate this poor man had suffered. So is this Crawford? As I grabbed the curious artifact, a sense of impending doom assaulted me. Oh my god, 5 a.m. This might be the final hour, right? Because aren't we supposed to be out by dawn? I felt my nightmarish journey was nearing its conclusion. This weird key was bound to unlock the final answer. Okay, so we can't keep going. Both the hellish glow and the heat from the boiler room upstairs invaded the septic tank. That sucks. God, these people were evil. I mean, I already knew that, but really kind of driving it home. Well, now what? Now what? I'm not really sure what to do now. I guess I've been everywhere. Do I go back up to that 3rd floor occult room or what? And where is everyone? We don't know where Julia is. We don't know where Bruno is. We don't know where... Lenny has disappeared. Dr. Mill has disappeared. I don't think... Let me see. I mean, we might be done with our interviews. There's 2 missing, and I can't figure out, like, was Bruno somewhere that I just didn't check, or what? Because I don't know if, like, is there another character that I haven't met? Weird. Let me take a look. What was the purpose of this strange artifact? A key, but for what? The shed? Find the catacombs. No doubt the fantastical discovery in the Institute's underground passages would provide the ultimate piece of the puzzle, but how, where was that mystifying tunnel located? The only way to get rid of the grip of the entity was to conclude the communion. This prospect terrified me to no end, but just as well, the notion of losing my mind. Okay, let's check, and then if it doesn't go to the shed, then we can go, it might unlock that room downstairs. I don't know why I'm just like... I don't know why I think that the shed is such a... Whatever. Yeah, I guess it's probably, now that I think about it, that room downstairs, right? In the basement, down below. Although this was locked, wasn't it? We have to try. Someone was going to have to tear that door apart to get it to open. Okay.
So much like clothing rubbing against itself when we walk. See, like, isn't this where they dug? Huh. Cart for transporting construction materials was in the center of the room. Oh. The wheel was rusted in place. Oh. Just a drop of oil would be enough. Okay. Cart was filled up with dirt. Poured some oil on the wheel. Applied a bit of oil to the wheel. Okay, all four wheels are oiled. Oh, here we go. Yeah, go ahead. Great. Now you telling me we couldn't have broken that on our own? You sure about that? Oh. Flashing lights here. Oh my god. Is that Lenny? Well, how'd he get back there? Oh.
Lenny, what are you doing here?
The time has come.
But how?
This is the place where it all happened. And now you must proceed.
I don't understand. Where have you been all this time?
I've always been here. With you.
What are you saying? Lenny, please. You're my only friend.
No one here can have friends.
What? Lenny, don't make jokes like that. You're scaring me.
Why are you doing this?
Why am I? I need to understand. I want peace.
Then go. The answer lies at the end of this tunnel.
Lenny.
I must go now.
Okay, bye. How did you get back here? Ellis, I'm leaving behind this hasty note in the event you can follow my steps. The situation upstairs is untenable. I may have reached a point of no return with that revolting scene in the female wing. They couldn't handle it, Ellis. Their minds are too feeble, but they served our purpose, and I have enough details now to understand what lies inside that cave. This is the second incursion of authorities into the premises, and we won't get away with things so easily this time. My own actions have raised suspicions, put me under close scrutiny. There will be a thorough investigation. They'll ask more questions, and we can't afford to lose control over our discovery. Never! This is the end of the Institute, so I've made my decision. I'm going in. I figured. We've wasted too much valuable time assessing the risks when we both know that no civilized human being has ever attempted this. Risks? Bah! Between facing the authorities and concluding an encounter postponed by unfathomable eons, the outcome of which is unknown, I choose to feast my eyes on the enrapturing radiance of Falote. It's ours. We've earned it. Remember that. Should the worst-case scenario present itself after this irrational adventure, I leave my last revelatory finding on these papers. The tumor. It's a mechanism. Ellis, the tumor acts as a sort of fail-safe device. Falote, in his endless wisdom, honed through vast passages of time their pathetic minds couldn't grasp, understood the risks of taking control of an inferior organism. What lies beyond the cave? Is the vessel being threatened in some way? How can he know if the organism will survive? So the entity only goes so far in the reconfiguration of foreign tissue. He leaves only a part of himself as a test, or maybe as some kind of probe which our biology develops as a tumor. This is the abnormal growth that we observed in the patients. Ironically, it was him observing us the entire time. And that, Ellis, is our biggest mistake. Yes, the patients relayed critical visual information to us, but the entity sensed the threat. We may be among the elite of our peers, but in the presence of Falote, we are arrogant and stupid creatures. I still have to decrypt the significance of the visions, but I believe they represent beacons. This is the part I couldn't properly translate. They are somehow part of the failsafe system. What I do know is that he wants to leave, patiently waiting until an ambitious but strong soul faces him and successfully withstands his powerful gaze. Whoever is chosen will not only participate in a cosmic symbiosis our earthly religions could only dream of, but gain an epochal power transcending our human condition. How many times have you seen a story like this where some guy is like messes with forces beyond his comprehension? He's like, and they'll reward me for it. They'll reward me. And then they just like die or go insane or something. I should be able to tolerate his sight. If my suspicions are correct, Ellis, not even our wildest theories could have prepared us for him. I may not be in control of myself after I enter that chamber. Take all necessary precautions to ensure that our discovery remains safe. No one can proceed beyond this point but me. W.H. Walter Hanwell. Dude, like I said, idiot. How can someone so smart be so stupid? It's a question I ask myself all the time. Probably questions you guys ask about me when I'm playing games. He's so smart, but so dumb. How's it possible? He thinks lubricating oil goes in lamps. Oh, the artifact's moving. Do you see that? It had little like tentacle things that are moving. Look at the fungoid. I just like that word. Wow, it's still lit down here? How often do they change these light bulbs? Okay. Yeah? What if I just went back up? What if I went back up and I left? I went into the car. Oh, is this the chamber? Oh, there's that thing from upstairs. Oh, is it like a puzzle? Oh, I have to recreate the symbol. Well, I don't remember what it looks like right off the bat. Oh. Oh, okay. Like in the illustration, they point out those three. Sure. Okay. Right. Sorry, it's getting dark. The unknown. unknowable. The unfathomable.
Where do we even go from there? What, now we leave? We get in the car and drive? Oh, that was cool. Wait, where is this? Is this the shed? This is the shed. Yeah. Oh my god. I told you the shed was important. Where did Bruno go? I'm so shocked by that. Bye, Julia.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah, sure. Well, Julia. I mean, you may feel as if you know, you've been blinded by your eyes being gouged out, but who knows if that's a fact or not? We all have different perspectives. The visitor is the main character. Interesting. Huh. John Bell was the voice of Ellis Hawthorne. John Bell was the voice of the main character Michael Orthate in Scratches. I believe. I might be wrong. Oh boy. Okay, well, that was an experience. In some ways, it felt like I was transported back in time 10 plus years. But not quite like playing like a truly retro point and click horror game like Scratches. My thoughts about Asylum. I think it's a decent game, but I'm hesitant to give it any more praise than that. I like the Lovecraftian twist on things. I found myself a lot more engaged and interested in the game once we started talking about like down below and the portal, or not the portal, the chamber, and sort of this, you know, very Lovecraft inspired story that began unearthing itself, rather than just being like, there's a bunch of crazy people in this asylum, like it was in the beginning, the first few hours. And that's not entirely unexpected. You know, Scratches has elements of Lovecraftian horror as well. Not like the cosmic sort of horror, but more of like, you know, because Lovecraft did other. There's one in particular that I can't. Was it the Rats in the Walls? I'm trying to remember if that's more of what Scratches was, and this was more of like kind of what most people think of when they think of Lovecraft. You know, the unknowable cosmic horror, right? And yeah, it's fine. I think a lot of things about the game are fine. I think the graphics and the environments are probably the part of it that is probably most well done. I feel like the soundtrack is a step down from Scratches. It really highlighted to me how good the Scratches soundtrack was. Playing them back to back like this, Scratch's soundtrack was amazing, and this was very low key, just sort of in the background most of the time. I don't know how much it elevated the sequences. The voice acting was fine for the most part. I felt like Julia and Bruno were a little on the weaker side, just as far as tonality and stuff, fitting the atmosphere of the game. And I think the atmosphere of the game was okay.
It might just be part of the game design stuff. I don't know if it hits the heights of Scratches. In fact, I know it doesn't. I feel like part of Scratch's strength was that you've got this home, right? This place that's supposed to be like a safe haven that you're moving into, that you're sleeping over at, and it's been invaded, it's been corrupted by some sort of sinister entity, right? And this, it's like, well, you're walking into like this haunted house of horrors in the first place, this institute, where unspeakable awful things have taken place, right? I got an achievement, discharged, left the asylum. And it just kind of makes the horror elements feel more typical, I guess. And I think that there's ways to do it where you can put the protagonist in a horrific environment, but I think what happens there has to scale up to the environment. Like Outlast, for example, the stuff that happens in Outlast is like, whoa, crazy, right? I don't feel like anything like that crazy happened before our eyes in this one. You had some moments like when we were trying to use the scalpel on Hodgson, and we had like that vision. We had some kind of crazy visions with like Rebecca. What was that all about? Oh my god. Right? And then I just kind of think, I don't know. I just kind of think that the horror wasn't quite as focused as I thought it could have been. I thought that the puzzles were a little on the weaker side. There was a lot of notes. I think my main criticism with this game was that I feel like I read it more than played it, especially the second half. The first half, you're like talking to people, and I enjoyed the dialogue sequences. I had a lot of fun with them, obviously, you know, check out this red crayon and stuff, making fun of the characters a little bit, but I liked the dialogue. I wish that there was kind of more gameplay centered around that style of investigation rather than we read a lot. We would read like 6-7 page notes there at the end, and we would read them in close succession. I just feel like it was a lot of lore dumping. I kind of would have preferred something more that was show, don't tell, than having to read about all that stuff. You know, and I understand why they did it. It was probably a budget consideration. It was probably, you know, because I don't know. I mean, the game has been in development for over 15 years. Because it was announced in 2010. So I'm sure it's had many ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster. I don't want to pretend to understand or you know, speculate on all the details. But it just kind of seems like there was some stuff shoved in there unexpectedly for me that I didn't so much love going through. I think overall, Asylum is a game that I'm glad it exists. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad I played it. It kind of gives me a little closure to that trailer that I saw 14 years ago in 2011, and I kind of forgot about until it came back here. I'm glad that you know, Augustus Cordes and I hope I said that right, and the people at Senscape that used to be at Nucleosis. I'm glad that they have a game that they have full control over, full publishing rights to, I assume now, and you know, Scratches is it's becoming sort of lost media in a way. There's no way to publicly access it. And I think I'm glad that they, you know, came back and made a game in the style that they wanted, and that they, you know, that's been well received. But beyond that, I think unfortunately this is a decent, if ultimately a little generic and mediocre in spots experience, and I think Scratches is just a much better game. Not to compare too much their catalog with each other, but I just think playing this after Scratches is a little bit like, oh, that game was really good and this one's fine, but it's nothing really that special, unfortunately. Those are my thoughts on Asylum. You might feel differently, and I totally respect that, but I think there's a lot of ways that this could have been improved. There are also so many like threads that kind of, or like threads and characters that kind of went nowhere. It felt like kind of Bruno showed up there, and then like where did he go? You know, I don't need to have an explanation for it. I don't need to see Bruno step by and like, you know, at like 10 p.m. and be like, I'm taking off for the night. But it is weird that he just leaves. It is weird that like Dr. Miller's there for like one scene. You don't really get that much information out of him, frankly. It seems like the main people that you get to talk to are Lenny and Julia, and Julia could have not been in the game, I'll be honest. She was sort of a tutorial girl in some ways, sort of like a hint line that you could go to and get a really unhelpful hint on what to do next. You know, I didn't show her some stuff like the valve and stuff, but I'm sure if I did, she would have been like, what are you doing with that? I don't know what you do with that, you know. I just think it was a much less tight experience than it could have been. So those are my thoughts on Asylum, my sprawling thoughts over the course of, 10, 15 minutes or however long I've been talking. But thanks for watching, and I had a good time playing this. I don't know when the next time I'll play like a point-and-click adventure, point-and-click horror game will be, but probably going to play some other games for a while at least, and get some different styles in there, because I do want to like move around in 3D space independently. I kind of miss that. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Think critically. Are you kidding me? I missed one note. I missed one note the whole game. Oh, this is why I don't try to 100%. Because I missed like one. And it's like, where was it? Who knows? Oh, boy. Hello, it's me, once again, back here to ruin the pacing of the video. That was a great ending. If only we could have just left it at that. But if you're confused, like I was, about the significance of the eyes in the rearview mirror, I think they didn't do a very good job of this. I had to look it up afterwards, after I played, because I was really unsure what that meant. But apparently, there's a wart that you can barely see in between the eyes on the side of the nose. And you're supposed to figure out from that, from the one time that you see a portrait of Walter Hanwell in his office, he has a very similar wart. So basically, it unveils the true identity of the visitor, the person we're playing as Walter Hanwell, which is the theory that I had from about the midpoint of the video, but then I talked myself out of it because I thought it would be too ridiculous. But really, it makes sense. It makes sense that, Julia doesn't know who we are, right, because she's new. And then the Dr. Miller had never met us face to face. But there's a couple things that I'm not so sure of, like, how does Lenny not know who we are? I guess Lenny never met Dr. Hanwell. It seems like everyone we talked to didn't know Dr. Hanwell, or they would have recognized us. But yeah, I'm not like super amazed or impressed by that twist. I kind of prefer it ending open-ended, like we don't know who the visitor was and they're credited as the visitor, right? So once again, I think, finding out the true identity is satisfying in one way, but in another, it's a little disappointing because I did predict it, even though I talked myself out of it, like I said, and I kind of would have just been left wondering. I feel like horror in particular thrives off of mystery, and once you take that mystery away, it's less scary and it's less interesting to talk about. So those are just my last minute thoughts about things. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Okay, I'll see you in the next playthrough, which, by the way, is Blueprints.